The tow truck pulled into our driveway at exactly 9:12 in the morning, its engine rumbling louder than my heartbeat. I remember freezing on the front steps, my hand still gripping the cheap plastic bag that held my birthday cupcakes. Store-bought, of course. Because no one in my house had planned anything. The driver stepped out, glanced at me, then at the house, and said, "You're the one turning 18 today, right?" And before I could even answer, he pressed a set of keys into my hand. Behind me, I heard my mother's voice, sharp, confused. "What is going on?" I didn't know yet. But for the first time in years, something felt different. Something felt like it was finally mine. 2 years earlier, everything had started with a red bow. My younger sister, Lily, stood in the driveway laughing as my parents filmed her reaction. The sunlight hit the shiny red paint of her brand new Honda, making it look like something out of a commercial. There were balloons tied to the side mirrors, a big Sweet 16 banner hanging across the garage, and at least 25 people gathered around with their phones out. My dad handed her the keys like it was the proudest moment of his life. "That's my girl," he said, pulling her into a hug. My mom wiped fake tears from her eyes. "She deserves it. She's always been so special." I stood on the edge of the crowd, clapping like everyone else, smiling like I was supposed to. No one noticed how quiet I was. No one asked what I felt. A few weeks later, it was my turn. No party, no guests, no balloons, just breakfast at the kitchen table. My mom slid a small envelope toward me while scrolling through her phone. "Happy birthday," she said casually. Inside was a prepaid bus pass. I stared at it for a second, thinking maybe there was something else. Maybe a joke. Maybe a real gift hidden somewhere. "That's it?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. My dad didn't even look up from his coffee. "You don't need a car right now. It builds character," my mom added. "You should be grateful." Grateful. I nodded slowly, even though something inside me cracked a little that morning. From that day on, my life split into 2 completely different worlds. Lily drove to school every day, music blasting, friends in the passenger seat, windows down like she owned the world. Meanwhile, I woke up before sunrise to catch the 5:45 bus. In winter, it was freezing. In summer, it was already humid and heavy. I stood alone at that bus stop every morning. Same cracked sidewalk, same flickering streetlight, same feeling. I told myself it was fine, that maybe my parents were right. Maybe I did need to build character. So I did. I got a part-time job after school. I saved every dollar. I kept my grades up. I never asked for anything. Not clothes, not rides, not money. I learned how to rely on myself. But slowly, I started noticing things that didn't feel like discipline. They felt like something else. The first real red flag came one evening when it started pouring rain. I had missed the earlier bus because of my shift, so I was stuck waiting outside with no shelter. My clothes were soaked through, my shoes squishing with every step. I called home, hoping maybe, just this once, someone would come get me. My mom answered, "Hey, could you pick me up? It's raining really bad." There was a pause. Then a sigh. "Your sister just got home. We're tired. You'll have to manage." "But it's really..." She hung up. I stood there, staring at my phone, rain dripping down my face. When I finally got home, almost an hour later, Lily was on the couch, dry, scrolling through TikTok. "Why didn't you just Uber?" she asked casually. I didn't answer. Because I already knew the truth. They wouldn't have paid for that either. After that, the small things started adding up. Lily got a new phone when hers was too slow. I got told to make it work. She got extra money for gas. I got told to budget better. She got praised for average grades. I got silence for straight A's. It wasn't loud, it wasn't obvious. But it was constant. And the worst part? I started believing it. I started thinking maybe I really was less important. The only person who seemed to notice was my grandmother. She lived with us, mostly quiet, always observing. She didn't interfere. She didn't argue with my parents. She didn't comfort me with big speeches or dramatic reactions. But she watched. Every morning when I left early, she'd be sitting by the window with her tea. Every evening when I came home exhausted, she'd glance up from her chair. Sometimes, she'd ask simple questions. Did you eat today? Was it a long shift? Nothing more. But her eyes, they saw everything. One night, she stopped me in the hallway. "You're saving money, aren't you?" she asked. I hesitated. "Yeah, a little. For what?" I shrugged. "A car." Eventually, she nodded slowly, like she already knew. "Good," she said softly. "Keep going." That was it. No promises, no explanations, just those words. And for some reason, they stayed with me. Over the next year, things got worse. Lily started treating me the same way my parents did. She'd make comments like, "You're still taking the bus?" in front of her friends. Or laugh when I couldn't go out because I had work. "You're basically your own parent," she once joked. Everyone laughed. I did too. Because what else could I do? But inside, something was building. Not anger. Not yet. Just a quiet, heavy realization that I didn't belong in my own home. The breaking point came on a night I'll never forget. It was late. I had just gotten home from work, exhausted, my feet aching. As I walked past the living room, I heard my parents talking. "We can't keep spending like this," my dad said. My mom sighed. "Well, Lily needs things. She's young." "And what about her?" my dad asked. There was a pause. Then my mom said something that stopped me cold. "She'll figure it out. She always does. Not she deserves it. Not she needs help too. Just she'll figure it out." Like I wasn't their responsibility. Like I was just there. I stood in the hallway, completely still, feeling something inside me finally break. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. That was the moment I understood. They weren't treating me differently by accident. They were choosing it. From that day on, I stopped expecting anything from them. No rides, no support, no recognition. I focused on myself. I worked more hours, saved more money, planned my future, and I counted down the days until I turned 18. What I didn't know was that someone else had been counting too. My grandmother. On the morning of my 18th birthday, I didn't expect anything. I woke up early, like always. Got ready for work. Packed my bag. No decorations, no messages, no cake. Just another day. Until that tow truck showed up. Back in the driveway, I stood there holding the keys, still confused. "What is this?" my mom demanded, walking outside. The driver pointed to the truck. "Delivery for her," he said, nodding at me. Slowly, the ramp lowered. And there it was, a car. Not brand new, not flashy, but clean, solid. Beautiful in a way that felt real. I couldn't move. I couldn't even breathe properly. "Who sent this?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. And that's when I heard her voice behind me. I did. I turned around. My grandmother stood in the doorway, calm as ever. "You?" I stepped toward her, completely stunned. "Why?" She walked slowly toward me, her eyes soft but steady. "Because I was watching," she said. "Every morning, every night, every time you chose to keep going when no one helped you." My parents stood there, silent. For 2 years, she continued. I said nothing. Not because I didn't care, but because I wanted to see who you would become. She placed her hand gently on mine. "And you became someone strong, someone patient, someone who doesn't give up." Tears filled my eyes before I could stop them. "I didn't want you to just have a car," she said. "I wanted you to earn the moment when it mattered." She then looked at my parents. "And I wanted you both to see what you ignored." The silence that followed was heavy, uncomfortable, real. My dad looked down. My mom didn't say a word. For the first time, they had nothing to justify, nothing to explain. because the truth was standing right in front of them. I wasn't asking for anything anymore. I didn't need to. I turned back to my grandmother, my voice shaking. "Thank you," she smiled softly. "You already thanked me. Every day you didn't quit." That afternoon, I drove my car for the first time. Not fast, not far, but every second felt different, not because of the car itself, but because of what it meant. I wasn't invisible. I wasn't overlooked. Someone had seen me. And that changed everything. In the weeks that followed, something shifted in the house. My parents became quieter around me, more careful. Like they were finally aware of something they couldn't undo. Lily stopped making jokes. Not out of kindness, but because she understood now. The balance had changed. And as for me, I didn't need their approval anymore. I had something better. I had proof that even when no one says anything, someone is watching. And sometimes, the quiet ones are the ones who change everything in the end.